I've poured 10 years of my life into West Hill Retreat. Every tile, every chandelier, every policy mine, built from scratch, from vision to cornerstone. So imagine standing inside the very lobby I designed, while my own younger brother pointed at me and said, "Can someone get that homeless guy out of here? He's ruining the luxury vibe." The laughter that followed, it didn't come from strangers. It came from people who knew me, who had once called me family. Ryan, my little brother, the one I used to cover for when he snuck out, the one I stayed up late helping with homework, the one I sent money to during his failed startup attempts. That Ryan, now draped in a custom velvet suit, arm in arm with his new girlfriend Claire, pretending this place, my place, was his playground. I was standing by the front desk, finalizing payroll logs, when I heard it, homeless. Like I didn't own the roof over their heads. Claire looked confused for half a second. One of my employees froze mid-step, glancing between us. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. The silence in my chest said enough. Leo, my assistant, spotted me and rushed over, eyes wide. "Mr. Blake, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. They let them have the party," I said flatly. "I need to know who else knew." Turns out, everyone, my father George, laughing with Claire's parents near the bar, holding the wine glass I gave him last Father's Day. My mother Linda, wearing the shawl I bought her from Italy, smiling like she hadn't just watched me get humiliated by my own blood. Then came the twist. Ryan, mid-toast, champagne glass high, said, "And to my amazing brother Ethan, without whom this entire celebration wouldn't be possible." Literally, he funded it. The applause was thunderous. My pulse was not. I never approved a dime for this party. My parents didn't blink, didn't apologize, didn't look the least bit concerned, as if it was expected that I'd sponsor Ryan's $150,000 content-worthy bash. I pulled out my phone and texted Leo, "Check every invoice from tonight. If my name's on anything I didn't authorize, freeze it immediately." Then I left. No one followed me. No one stopped me. And that's when I realized I wasn't family to them. I was their wallet with a heart. I didn't go home right away. Instead, I drove around Austin aimlessly, past the quiet roads of Cedar Park, past the neon buzz of bars I used to go to in my 20s, back when everything still felt like it could be figured out with a couple of late-night talks and cold beer. Now, it just felt loud. 3 days later, I showed up at my parents' house. Not out of guilt, just protocol. My mother, Linda, had sent a message, "We'd like to talk," as a family. Right, family. The red brick house hadn't changed. Still overly decorated. Still pretending to be something it wasn't. Like all of us. George opened the door like he was greeting a UPS driver. "Ethan," he said, as if he didn't just watch me get dismantled in my own lobby. "We're waiting inside." The table was set with the fancy plates. The ones they never used unless someone was dying, marrying, or getting ambushed. Ryan sat at the head, emerald blazer, smug half smile, leg crossed like he ran this operation. Claire perched beside him, sipping something red. "I've been talking with a few planners," Ryan began, like this was a TED Talk. "Next year's party needs to be even bigger. Think aerial champagne drops, full drone coverage, documentary style cuts. We're looking at around $110,000. I looked around. No one flinched. "You want me to pay for that?" I asked. "Well," Ryan shrugged, "you don't really spend on yourself. You drive a Civic. You wear the same watch since college. Meanwhile, I'm building a brand. A platform." I laughed once, dry. "I thought it was your birthday, not a media launch." Linda set her spoon down with theatrical precision. "Ryan has a point. You've always been the practical one. What's the harm in helping?" Helping. That word again. "Helping is when you ask," I said. "This is cornering," George chimed in. "Let's not make this dramatic." "Oh, I see. Publicly calling me homelesses in my own business? That's fine. Objecting to being bled dry? That's dramatic." I stared at them. All of them. And for the first time, I didn't feel angry. I just felt tired, not of them, of me. The version of me that kept showing up, fixing, funding, forgiving. So I stood up, folded my napkin slowly, and said, "If being part of this family means financing delusion, then maybe I was never in it to begin with." Nobody stopped me. Not George, not Linda, not even Ryan. But just as I walked past the doorway, I heard Linda say under her breath, "The more money that boy makes, the colder he gets." I paused, didn't turn around, just smiled slightly. Cold? Maybe. Or maybe I was just finally getting warm on my own terms. There's something surreal about realizing you've been typecast in your own family. You're not the brother. You're not the son. You're not the human being with a voice. You're just a sponsor, a fallback fund, a signature on demand. 3 days after that ridiculous dinner, Leo, my assistant, handed me a cream envelope during a morning ops meeting. Your mother dropped this off herself. No greeting, no smile. Just said, Ethan will know what to do. Inside, 3 stapled, glossy pages with floral trim and an obnoxiously cursive title, Ryan Blake's 30 Honest Birthday Proposal, presented by Valerian Events. By page 2, my name was highlighted in pink, primary sponsor, Ethan Blake, $112,500 confirmed. Confirmed? By whom? Not by me. I hadn't spoken to Ryan since he toasted to my generosity at his last event. And now, here I was magically underwriting a party I didn't authorize through a vendor I'd never met in a venue I didn't approve. And the kicker? The proposed location was the Skyhaven rooftop, my own resort's penthouse terrace. Booked under a third-party shell vendor Ryan had probably set up to bypass internal vetting. Clever. I'll give him that. Shameless, but clever. I picked up my phone, texted Leo, pull contracts from Valerian Events. I want timestamps, payment flows, and booking authorizations. Bots scan everything. We're documenting. I wasn't reacting with rage. I wasn't about to yell in a boardroom. No, I was doing something far more dangerous. I was documenting. Quietly. Thoroughly. Legally. That evening, I got a visit I didn't schedule. George, my father, showed up at my office without calling, walked right past the receptionist like he still had a parental pass. He even brought banana bread, like we were going to play house. Thought you might be hungry, he said, placing the container on my desk like a bribe. I didn't touch it, just leaned back in my chair. You're not here to talk snacks. He exhaled like he was tired of me making things difficult. Look, Ethan, I know you're upset, but it's Ryan's birthday. The plans are already in motion. Can't you just let it go? Let it go? I repeated, voice steady. You're asking me to pay 6 figures for a party I never agreed to, hosted by someone who humiliated me in my own building, and you want me to let it go? George's expression didn't change. We just assumed you'd understand. You've always handled these things. Ah, there it was. The invisible contract I never signed. I stood up, opened the mini fridge behind me, and shoved the banana bread inside. What are you doing? He asked. Freezing it, I said flatly. Where things that numb feelings go? He blinked. Ethan, I didn't let him finish. From now on, no one, including Ryan, gets to make assumptions about my bank account, my generosity, or my boundaries. If a single dollar is billed to my name again without my explicit signature, it'll be handled through my legal team. No exceptions. He looked stunned, like I'd just broken some ancient, sacred vow. You've become cold, he said finally. No, I said, I've become clear. He left without another word. The next morning, Leo knocked less gently this time. Express delivery from someone named Claire. Labeled personal and financial. It was thick, probably 20 pages, and stamped with a gold embossed logo from Aria Sky Lounge. I flipped to the important part. Financial guarantor, Ethan Blake. Signature required by 11/3. If primary party fails to pay, guarantor assumes full financial liability. So not only was Ryan using a third-party vendor, he was also trying to bind me through Claire, his girlfriend, probably hoping I'd glance over it and sign out of habit. I didn't rage. I didn't even blink. I placed the contract flat on the scanner beside my desk and filed it into a folder I'd created the night before, Ryan Legal, unauthorized documents. Then I composed a company-wide email. Subject, financial policy update effective immediately. No financial agreements, contracts, or event bookings shall be processed under the name Ethan Blake without direct, written verification from myself. Any violation of this policy will be referred to our legal counsel. Ethan Blake, CEO, West Hill Retreat. I didn't text Ryan. I didn't message Claire. I let the silence stretch like a drawn bow. A few days later, Linda, my mother, sent a short message. Ryan says, you're overreacting. He just wanted a memory. It's not that serious. I didn't reply. I just forwarded it to Leo and added it to the folder labeled Emotional manipulation. Phase 2. That night, I sat at my desk long after the staff had gone home. The resort lights cast golden reflections on the glass windows. I could hear the soft music echo from the rooftop bar, the very place Ryan had tried to hijack for his next spectacle. But this time, I wasn't going to be blindsided. I wasn't going to fund it. I wasn't going to fake smile through it. I wasn't going to let it go. No. This time, I was going to stand so still, so calm, and so legally grounded that when the storm came crashing down, I'd be the only one left standing. There's a particular stillness you reach when your threshold isn't about anger anymore. It's not revenge, not drama, it's paperwork, it's documentation. It's knowing that if they try one more time, just once you're ready to press send. That's where I was. Tuesday morning, I walked into my office at West Hill Retreat with one goal: make myself untouchable. Leo met me there with a folder already in hand, labeled in red Sharpie, unsolicited contracts, financial risk flag. He didn't ask if I wanted to see it. He knew I did. Inside were scanned copies of the Valerian Events Proposal, the Aria Sky Lounge Guarantor, contract screenshots of text messages from Claire, gently reminding me to sign and submit by end of week, even an email from Ryan sent at 2:14 a. Subject line, bro, can't we just be cool? No attachments. Just 2 sentences. Come on, man. Just sign the thing. It's not a big deal. You'll get it back when the video sponsors pay out. I almost admired how delusional that was. Almost. Instead of replying, I added a few new folders to the master drive: defamation and reputation harm, unauthorized use of brand staff witness reports, digital coercion attempts. This wasn't a tantrum. This was asset protection. And just like that, I stopped being the older brother. I became the compliance department. That afternoon, I sent one formal email. Subject, legal notification. Ethan Blake, all vendors, planners, and affiliated parties are hereby informed that any contracts or documents listing Ethan Blake as financial guarantor are invalid unless accompanied by notarized, written consent signed by Ethan Blake directly. Any further attempts to use my name without authorization will be considered financial fraud and escalated accordingly. Counsel, Marin and Feldman, LLP. I CC'd my attorneys, Leo, and the executive board. I didn't CC Ryan. Let him find out through silence. Because sometimes silence isn't avoidance, it's ammunition. 3 days later, Linda showed up. No warning, no appointment. Just waltzed into the lobby like she owned it. She was wearing her mother mode smile. The one that said, I brought banana bread, so now we're emotionally even. Except this time, there was no bread, just another envelope. Thought we could talk, she said, placing it on the glass conference table in my office. About? I asked. She didn't flinch. About Ryan's revised proposal. He's willing to lower the budget. Only $88,000 this time. It's a reasonable ask. I opened the envelope slowly. Inside were more documents this time with updated numbers, highlighted timelines, and a proposed promotional campaign featuring my resort tagged in all his influencer videos. He's trying to help, she added. You could benefit too. This is a partnership. I looked up. A partnership doesn't start with fraud. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic, I repeated. Is that what you call freezing 6 figures under my name without consent? She sighed. Brian's just young. He's 31. Well, he's hopeful. I leaned forward. Hope doesn't pay invoices, Linda. Hope doesn't write checks. Hope doesn't get to weaponize someone's silence and call it loyalty. She blinked at the use of her first name. I rarely used it. But today wasn't about guilt. It was about clarity. This is family, Ethan, she said finally. We help each other. I folded the proposal and slid it back toward her. Family asks. Family respects. This is extortion in a tuxedo. I stood. She didn't move. So I walked past her and opened the door. She looked back at me once like she was hoping for a flicker of softness. Some sign I might bend. But all she saw was steel. Before she left, she paused in the doorway. You've really changed? I know, I said. And you should have changed how you treat me before I had to. That night, I sat in my kitchen. No music. No lights beyond the warm under-cabinet glow. I poured a glass of wine, not for celebration, not for comfort, just acknowledgement. That the version of me they used to rely on, the one who'd stay silent, sign anything, put every bill for the sake of peace, that version was retired, not destroyed. Just archived. I opened the shared drive on my laptop, scrolled through the digital evidence, the timelines, the legal templates, and I added one final folder, emotional boundaries, locked. Because this wasn't just about money anymore. This was about dignity. This was about drawing a line so sharp that if they ever crossed it again, they'd bleed. And I wouldn't lift a finger, just the pen. The day Ryan's birthday party finally arrived, West Hill Retreat looked like something out of a movie. Rooftop lights bathed the marble lobby in soft gold. Floral centerpieces lined the hallway white orchids with gold trim, clearly meant to match the luxury lifestyle Ryan curated for the internet. And outside, a luxury limo idled under the porte cochere like it was waiting for royalty. I wasn't invited, of course. Didn't need to be. Leo was already stationed by the lobby security feed when I arrived. He handed me a tablet. 15 minutes ago, he said, nodding toward the screen. There, frozen in crystal clear footage, was Ryan. He walked in like he owned the place, literally leading Claire and her parents, the Monroes, around like he was giving a personal tour of his empire. I didn't need sound to know what he was saying. These chandeliers? Imported from Italy. This staircase? Custom marble cost a fortune. This rooftop? Exclusive access only. One of a kind. Lies. Every word. Every stone, every contract, every espresso machine mine. And yet, Ryan wore the confidence of someone who thought performance was enough to replace ownership. That's when I walked downstairs. Slowly. Deliberately. The kind of entrance you don't rush because every click of your shoes becomes punctuation. Click, 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 click. I stepped halfway down the main staircase and paused. Ryan's voice caught mid-sentence. Claire's smile faltered. The Monroes turned, curious. I let a smile touch my lips. Nothing broad, just enough to sting. Welcome to West Hill Retreat, I said calmly. I'm Ethan Blake, founder and CEO. The lobby froze. Claire blinked. Her parents exchanged a quick glance. Ryan's smile twitched. Ethan, he said too brightly. I was just giving the Monroes a quick tour, I noticed, I said. Though it seems there's been some confusion. This hotel doesn't authorize private tours unless they're approved through our executive office. Mrs. Monroe stepped forward, voice clipped. You're the actual owner? I nodded once. Built it from the ground up, every signature, every stone. Her eyes sharpened. Because Ryan said this was a family-owned property, that the event was sponsored by a relative. Oh, it is, I said evenly. I just never gave permission for this event or agreed to any sponsorship. In fact, my legal team has already issued cease and desist warnings regarding misuse of my name. Ryan's face drained of color. Ethan, come on, man. We're family. I turned to the Monroes. For clarity, West Hill Retreat is not affiliated with any personal brand, influencer, or third-party booking related to tonight's event. Any representation otherwise was unauthorized and is being reviewed legally. Miss S. Monroe straightened. Thank you for the transparency. That's rare these days. Her husband murmured something about misleading business practices and red flags. Ryan started to panic. Wait, we can fix this. Ethan, let's talk upstairs. I didn't budge. Leo, I said, without looking away, please escort the Monroe family to our executive terrace. I'll give them a personal walkthrough of our official event spaces. Leo nodded. Absolutely, Mr. Blake. Claire looked like she wanted to disappear. The Monroes followed Leo upstairs without another word. Ryan took a step toward me. Ethan, don't do this here. You're making it a scene. I looked at him, really looked at him. This boy, in a velvet jacket, playing dress up with my legacy. This isn't a scene, I said quietly. This is me taking back what you thought you could steal without consequence. And I walked away. That night, I didn't go to the rooftop. I didn't check the security feed. Didn't scroll through social media to see the fallout. Instead, I sat at home, the soft amber light of my kitchen casting gentle shadows across the counter. There were no texts, no calls, just silence. But it didn't feel empty. It felt like space I finally owned. The next morning, my phone lit up with a message from George. Ryan says, "You embarrassed him. Things didn't have to go that far." I didn't respond. Later that week, Leo forwarded me a media report, a TikTok clip of Ryan sitting in his childhood bedroom, claiming he was set up, The people didn't understand the context, and that real success comes with haters. Comments were split. Some fans defended him, most didn't. The top comment? Imagine trying to exploit your brother's business and getting owned by the CEO on camera. That's not a hater, that's karma. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt done. 2 weeks later, our booking numbers spiked by 17%. Several new long-term event partners reached out, one of them from the Monroe family office. In her proposal, Mrs. Monroe wrote, "We were impressed not only by the resort's elegance, but by Mr. Blake's composure and integrity under pressure. We only do business with people who know their worth." I read that line twice, because for the first time, I felt seen not as a safety net, not as a sibling, not as a silent ATM, but as a man who built something real. I drove past my childhood home one night, didn't stop, just looked. The porch light still flickered, the lawn still needed trimming. The nostalgia didn't bite. Not anymore. Because here's what I learned. Sometimes family doesn't love you. Sometimes they love what you provide. But peace is when you stop confusing the two and choose to walk away anyway.